Why does God allow suffering? Why does God allow massive poverty? Why does God allow little children to die of hunger? Why does God allow little girls to be raped and molested? And it's as though He stands on the side and doesn't do anything. Why does God allow greedy tyrants and despots of the world that steal billions from the poor? And then what are they doing? They're in their palaces. They're in their beaches. And God's not doing anything. Why does God allow suffering? And here's my answer, 3 words. I don't know. I wish I had another answer for you, but I don't. I've been reading the Bible for 40 years, and I'm telling you, there is no 100% answer that will satisfy that question. There's none. But what I can share with you are little hints, little hints. I mean, if we knew the total answer, then I think we will not be required to believe. There will be no need for faith. But the reason why we need faith is because we only have hints. And that's what I want to share with you today. And the first hint is this. To answer that question, why is there suffering? Why does God allow suffering? Number one, God doesn't want suffering. That's number one. God does not want us to suffer. Ultimately, I'm a dad. I've got 2 boys. I don't secretly desire, before I sleep, what are the fondest fantasies that I have? I'm not fantasizing that my kids will suffer abject poverty and then they will be in pain for the. I'm not doing that. I'm a dad and I love my boys, and so I want them to be happy. I want them to live life to the full. I want them to be a blessing to others. That's what I'm thinking of. So God is a God who desires abundance for us. God is a God who desires the fullness of life for us. I have come, Jesus said, that you might have life and have it in abundance. So this is God's desire. However, as a father, I will not cancel all pain. I will not cancel all suffering. I will not cancel all this is crazy. I will not cancel all trials from my children's life. In fact, when I see, my story is that my son was leading the youth ministry, and for years, I think for 3 years, he was having such a hard time. He had problems with the staff, he had problems with lack of funds, he had problems and every Sunday he would come up to me and say, "Dad, it's so hard. Dad, it's so difficult. Youth ministry is so difficult." And there I am, and I'm a dad, and I'm listening to him and say, yeah, you're right. Wow. Just listening to him. You know what? I could have made a phone call and I would have solved 50% of his problems, like maybe his need for equipment or his need for funding. I could have, but I kind of like held back. I'll tell you why. Because I knew this was going to develop his character. And he's 21 years old now, and I really feel that those 3 years of immense difficulty, the frustration, the disappointment that he suffered going through youth, it just strengthened him. He's unstoppable. And I really believe that that's what God does. He just allows certain difficulties, knowing that it's the only way we grow, because He is a Father. So that's my first hint. The second thing that I want to share with you, I really believe this, that when you go to God, I'll tell you a story. There's this guy who goes to church and he asks this from God. He said, "God, what are you doing? There's so much poverty, there's so much hunger, there's so much sickness. What are you doing?" And then silence. And then God speaks to him. He hears a voice. And God says, "I made you." God made us to address the suffering around us. And that's why we have Anawim, our work for the abandoned elderly. And we've been doing it for, almost 30 years now. Serving the poorest of the poor. That's why we have a home for sexually abused children called Jeremiah. And that's why we have another ministry for pregnant women in crisis called Grace to be Born. We've been doing this for years, saving unborn children and saving children from babies from abortion and caring for the young mother until they give birth. We do all of this. And the reason why we do all of this is because we are God's answer to the suffering in this world. There are many more things I want to share with you. But why does God allow suffering? I don't know. But that will not stop me from being God's love in this world. Thank you for watching Soul Food. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Send your questions over. I hope I can answer them. You can send them through video or just write on the comments section. Thank you so much. This is Sanchez for Soul Food. Always crave for more.